Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today we're going to do another great workout you can do in your home. Remember to always come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go. So do 5 to 10 minutes of a cardio workout of some sort. You can go up and down your stairs, around your block, maybe get on some cardio equipment at home. Anything to just get your heart rate up a little bit and get your muscles warmed up and ready to go. My dog is very excited for a walk upstairs. So today we're just going to need one set of dumbbells and a jug of water if you have one, and just something that you can use as a focus for balance. I've just got a couple cups. If you have cones or a couple little objects, it doesn't need to be anything fancy, just something you can aim for, and that is it for today. So we're actually going to start off on the floor, and we're going to use one dumbbell for a lat overhead pull down. So I want you to come down onto your back, and we're going to do this in a bridge. So I want you to think, remember when we go up into a bridge, you want to flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, and then come up. So make sure that you've got that down, and then we're going to add a lat pull over with a weight. So you want to keep your arms straight here, pull them straight overhead, and then back up. So go up into that bridge, press your weight overhead. We're going to pull this down to the floor and then straight back up over your chest. Nice and slowly, keep breathing. You want your weight and your heels here for your bridge. 4, 5, good. So if this feels like too much weight, you can stop and grab a lighter one, or conversely grab a heavier one if you need more. So also, if you're having any shoulder pain, you can bend your elbows a little bit and make that lever a little shorter. Just keep that angle of your elbows the same so that you're working those lats and not inadvertently pulling in your triceps. Okay, good. Rest. And put that off to the side. And we're going to stand up. So remember to always stand up slowly after you've been down on the floor. Up onto your hands and knees. Slowly up. Make sure you stand up as slowly as you need. And we're going to do some squat pulses. Now, I encourage you to use a kitchen counter or something sturdy in front of you to keep you in good form. If you don't need it, that's okay. You can just sit back into your squat pulse. So I'm going to move this over just a little. When you sit down into that squat, remember you're sitting back. You want your hips to go back like you're going to sit down into a chair. You want your knees bent, your hips bent, and the weight in the heels of your feet. So like I said, you can use something to hang on to so you can stay in that good form. And we're going to pulse for 30 seconds. So if you don't need to hang on to anything, that's great. But if you do, to really get that good form, you can do this in a smaller range of motion too. You can do it up here. That's okay. Keep breathing. Try to keep your chest up and your eyes forward. That'll help keep you in good balance. You should feel like you can lift your toes here. Doing good. 5 more seconds. Squat. Just little tiny pulses. Really thinking about squeezing your glutes as you pulse up. All right, good. Now we're going to pick up those weights. So I'm going to have you use both of them this time. I'm going to lift up my camera here just a little. So remember to pick them up with good form. Bend your knees, bend your hips. We're going to do alternating shoulder press. So if you'd like to, you can add a little balance challenge to this. Maybe do a tandem stance, stand on some balance discs. We're going to alternate and press one arm up at a time. So when you alternate things like this, it requires one arm to do the work without kind of stabilizing with the other. Also, you're requiring your core to do a little bit more here to stay stable. Keep breathing. You can just stay in that tandem stance or single leg stance, or if you don't want to do that, you can stand with your feet hips hip width apart. The other thing is, if you have any back pain with this, sit down and do this. It's okay. You're still working your shoulders, but then you're not having to put your back at risk. One more each side. And 10. All right, so remember to slowly lower those to the floor, bend your knees and hips to drop them. And then we're gonna go back down to the floor. Knees bent, back nice and flat. We're going to do bicycle abs, which we've done in the past, but I'll review it. So remember, when we're doing any work here, you want to think about flattening your back to the floor. So right now I can squeeze my hand or slide my hand back there. Flatten your back to the floor. Try to maintain that tightness and that back flat because that will help protect your back. And then the goal is to be switching your feet back and forth like this. And if that feels okay and you're able to maintain your flat back, you can lift one up or try lifting both. If you're unable to maintain that flat back, or if it hurts, if your back hurts with this, bend your knees a little and you can alternate like this. Or you can also keep one foot on the floor while the other is elevated. And then you can alternate which foot is on the floor. So you can try it a multitude of different ways, but try to protect that back. Really work on keeping that back flat, abs engaged. One more each side. All right, good. If you do have any back pain with that, remember, try those alternatives with the knees bent. And you can also reset at any point. You can stop, reset, really try to keep that back flat. Okay. Now we're going to stand back up. So slowly come onto your hands and knees. Come up slowly. Make sure your head is kind of regulating. I don't want you to stand up and feel dizzy or lightheaded. All right, now we're going to grab that jug I talked about. And I want you to stand with your feet a little wider than hip width apart. And your knees bent, your hips flexed just a little bit, abs nice and tight. This is actually a pretty big core exercise. I'm gonna have you just shake this jug side to side. So you can, if your arms are really close in, it will be a little easier. Or the further out they are, the harder it'll be. And we're gonna do this for 30 seconds. All right, go. So shake it back and forth and try to maintain your body as still as possible. I know that's really hard, so you can start in here, move out, really engage that core and your hips to stay nice and stable. Really small, just shaking it back and forth. Breathe. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. It's a really good core exercise. You're going to feel it stabilizing in your hips if you're trying to keep everything here as stable as possible. And your arms are also having to work really hard there too. Okay, we're going to end with a good balance exercise. So get those two objects out. I've got 2 cups. In my gym I use cones or tiny little discs, things like that. Stand next to something sturdy. I want you to face the 2 cones. I just have them like, I don't know, a foot apart or so. I want you to stand on one foot. So we're going to stand, keep those hips nice and stable, stand on one foot, and we're going to, for 30 seconds, tap back and forth. So you're going to have to kind of cross over. Stand in the middle. So you're standing, crossing over your midline just a little to tap the crossways. 1. Try to keep your shoulders back, your head up. It's easy when you start doing balance to kind of want to do this, so you're really looking at what you're doing. Try to pull those shoulders back. Really be conscious of pulling those shoulders back, pulling up through the top of your head so you're nice and tall, keeping those abs nice and tight. Keep breathing. 5 more seconds. And rest. Okay, shake your hips out if you need to, and we're going to do the other foot. So put your foot right in the middle, your standing foot, and let's go. Slowly tap back and forth. So I'm not touching down in between. I'm just bringing my foot back to center. Remember to reset, pull those shoulders back. It doesn't matter if you exactly touch it. If you miss it just a little, it's okay. You're still getting the motion. You're still letting it cross over midline. You're still stabilizing on that standing hip. Your abs are nice and tight. Good posture, really work on that. You can find something off in the distance to look at, focus on, and rest. All right, good. Okay, so go through those 1 to 2 more times. Follow with stretching and cool down. If you want to put a little more cardio into it, make it a good full workout, you can put 5 to 10 minutes of cardio in between each circuit, and then do your good cool down and stretch at the end. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.